Tonight, you'll close a door. Maybe the front door of a quiet apartment. Maybe just your bedroom door in a house full of people you didn't really talk to today. And on the other side of it, you'll be alone. Just you and a glowing screen that feels a little bit like company. It'll feel normal. It'll feel like just how life works. But for 99.9% of human history, this exact moment, one human, alone, behind a door, was almost impossible. Not the Greeks, not your great grandparents. Nobody was ever this alone. Not once. For 2 million years. And why that changed? And what it's quietly doing to you changes how you see your loneliness, your friendships, and what it actually means to be a human being. Here's the thing we get wrong. We treat being alone as neutral, restful even, a night in, some peace and quiet after a long day, and sometimes it is. But your body did not get that memo. Your body still thinks being alone is an emergency. In 2010, a researcher named Julianne Holt-Lunstead wanted to know how much our relationships actually matter to our health. So she and her team did something huge. They combined 148 separate studies, following more than 300,000 people over years of their lives. They were looking for one number. How much does being connected to other people change your odds of staying alive? The answer stunned them. Strong social connection didn't just help a little. It predicted who survived better than exercise, better than quitting drinking, about as much as quitting smoking. Loneliness, measured against your body, is roughly as dangerous as a cigarette habit. Sit with that. The feeling you've been treating as just a mood is scored by your body as a threat to your life. Because for your ancestors, it was. Alone on the ancient savannah meant no one to watch for the predator while you slept, no one to share meat when your own hunt failed. Alone meant you were already halfway to dead. So they were never alone. They lived in bands, they hunted in groups, and here's the part people miss. Hunting in a group is often not even more efficient. One skilled hunter can do a lot alone. What the group gave them wasn't efficiency, it was the sharing. Meat divided so no single bad day meant starvation. Children watched by many hands, a fire that someone else kept while you slept. That's what your body is still homesick for. And if this is landing, if you felt that pull and never had a name for it, hit subscribe and join us. One weird question answered for real every week. So, if we're built for the group this deeply, what happens when the group disappears? This is where it gets strange, because loneliness isn't really an emotion at all, it's an alarm. A scientist named John Cacioppo spent his career studying it, and he landed on an idea that sounds simple and changes everything. Loneliness is to belonging what thirst is to water. Think about thirst. Thirst isn't a punishment, it's a signal. Your body telling you a level is running low. Go top it up. It feels unpleasant on purpose, so you'll actually do something about it. Loneliness, Cacioppo argued, is the exact same machinery, pointed at people instead of water. That ache isn't you being weak or needy. It's a 2 million-year-old gauge telling you you've drifted too far from the tribe. Go back. And like thirst, it's supposed to be temporary. A nudge, felt, then answered. But there's a catch built into you that makes the modern world brutal for this. Your brain has a ceiling. A researcher at Oxford named Robin Dunbar found it. He noticed that across primates, the size of the brain's thinking part tracks the size of the social group it can handle. Run the numbers for humans, and you get about 150. Roughly 150 people. That's how many real relationships your mind was built to hold. The size of an ancient tribe, the size of a village. Not 5,000 followers, not a feed of strangers, 150 faces who knew your name and would notice if you were gone. So here's the trap. You have an alarm that screams when you're disconnected, and a brain built for a village of 150, living in a world with neither, surrounded by people known by almost none of them. So what pulled the village apart? What actually did this to us? The answer is almost too simple. It's not phones, it's older than phones. It's doors. Walls, doors, and the slow, comfortable invention of privacy. Go back far enough and nobody slept alone. Whole families, sometimes whole households, slept in one room, around one fire, not because they were poor, because that was life. Warm bodies, clothes, all night. Then slowly, we got rich enough to buy separation. The private bedroom, a genuinely recent luxury. For most of history, the idea of a child sleeping alone in their own room would have sounded not like a privilege, but like a punishment. Then the house got bigger and moved apart from the other houses. The village became a street of strangers. The suburb, the commute. everyone sealed in their own climate controlled box. And then the final step, the one happening right now, living completely alone. In 1960, almost no households were a single person. Today, in many cities, it's the most common way to live. More people live alone right now than at any point in the history of our species. Every step felt like progress. More space, more privacy, more independence. And a lot of it is genuinely good. Nobody's giving back plumbing and their own front door. But notice what we quietly traded away. We got the private room and lost the shared fire. We got independence and lost the many hands. We built a door for every person and then wondered why everyone behind one feels so alone. Even the word remembers. Alone isn't a fancy word. Break it open and it's just two older words worn together. All one. All one. To be alone is to be all one. Reduced to a single unit when you were built to be part of a whole. We call it a loneliness epidemic. We talk about it like a disease, a defect, something wrong with a generation that has everything. But what if it isn't a defect at all? What if that ache is the healthiest part of you? A 2 million-year-old signal, working perfectly, telling you the truth that you were never meant to be this alone. So, tonight, you close the door. And now you know what that quiet on the other side really is. Not peace exactly. A gauge reading low. The oldest part of you keeping watch by a fire that isn't there anymore. But here's the mercy of it. A gauge reading low is not a broken thing. It's an instruction. And the fix is almost embarrassingly old and small. Not a life overhaul. Not 5,000 followers. One person. Reach out to one person tonight. The friend you keep meaning to text. The parent you owe a call. Answer the signal the way you were built to. Your ancestors survived because they never let each other drift too far. That instinct is still in you, right now, tonight. So who's the one person you're going to reach for?